Well, hello there guys, Agrippa Maxenius here. It's been a while since we've done some Civil War action, and I decided to go ahead and try to play as the Union this time. Last few times we played as the Confederacy and tried to control Cemetery Ridge. So guys, we're starting at Little Round Top. I hope we move out from here and get a victory, but only time will tell. So as you can see, we are holding this area. We want to obviously move forward to the ridge over where George Whitehart's farm is, and I'm going to start getting these cannons up. I want to make sure that these cannons are really close together. In the past, basically grouping these cannons, I've had a lot of success, so we're going to try to do that here. Also, of course, going to be moving up the rest of these forces to hold this area. The enemy's going to be moving into position very, very fast here, guys. So we definitely want to hold certain areas, but in most cases, we're going to be moving forward to counter the enemy movement. Let's move up the U.S. sharpshooters. We're going to move up Carr, Burling, and the rest of these guys, Excelsior Brigade even. Everybody is going to get a piece of the action in this battle, guys. That much I promise you. Let's make sure this is on shell shot. There we go, boys. Ward, you can hold here. I think this is good enough. Wheeler can also hold here for shell shot. In fact, canister shot is probably even more appropriate. This is getting really crazy. I'm going to have to run. I hate running in this game, but in this case, we need to try and protect our guys. And Wright is actually going straight for a charge. So the Confederates are going straight for a charge. We may have pushed Ward up just a little bit too much, but we are, in fact, taking the ridge. That's what matters to me. Let's keep going. Move de Trobriand up here as well, and the U.S. sharpshooters once again. There we go. Look at that, guys. Parry, etc. We're not going to try to attack at all, but we will go ahead and start opening fire on that group. Come on, boys. Might want to switch to canister. All right, some of these guys are already on canister shot, which is good. Canister. All right, hold here with Schmiffelnig. And I basically just wanted to put him in the wooded area, but I didn't anticipate so much enemy activity so quickly. We basically moved up a little bit too much. We didn't need to. And now we've got to basically hold the enemy back as long as possible. All right, come on, Graham. What are you waiting for, son? You know how to shoot a rifle? So we're going to go ahead and move Graham up. Looks like he's having some difficulty in ascertaining a shot. Come on, Gilsa. And I'm going to move Smith up right there. There we go. Some beautiful shots right there into the enemy. And there we go. Come on, Graham. Get some shots off, man. He needs to get right up on them because I guess Whitehart's farm is a pretty good defensive area. And there we go. Posey is getting hit really badly. To make sure we're not getting attacked on other parts of the line. Got to be careful, guys. Okay, nice. We're getting some reinforcements, guys. Hancock's brigade is coming. We're also getting the Irish brigade on the way. Zook even, so we definitely want to keep that in mind, but we also want to keep in mind that, look at that, the enemy is moving on our position, guys. They're taking the ridge, and they're taking it with a lot of artillery as well, which is kind of annoying to say the least, although leaving this area is not exactly wise. So I'm going to move Stannard, but a lot of these armies I'm going to keep back here. Costra will also move forward, and Excelsior Brigade. Yes, we do. Bring those guns up. Bring them all up. Could use them all. Come on. Let's see if we can get the general over here as well. I want to get some support to the boys right there on the front lines. Start firing at Wilcox. You're going to stand here, boys. Make sure to shoot. There we go. Nice. And I want Graham to focus on Posey. We'll move Carr over here on the right flank, and we'll move Burling over here. Or I should say their right flank, our left flank. We've got to try and contain these guys, because if they start breaking out, we're in serious trouble. And look at that, the Louisiana Tigers, this is what I'm talking about. These Confederates love charging, and they will stop at nothing to charge. I'm going to move Iron Brigade this way, because we very well may need to use the Black Hats to hold off the enemy. But look at that, they're actually taking quite a lot of hits here, but I think they can do a lot of damage. Let's get Baxter over here. They're going straight for the point. And it looks like Schmiffelnig is going to try to respond in kind. Look at that. I just turned to Southerner. Here we go. Bucktail Brigade. A few of these guys could keep moving forward, but I'm going to keep them in this position on top of the wooded hill. Let's make sure that Wilkinson knows to fire canister shot. All right, Ramser on the way. And Iron Brigade is getting some really beautiful shots there on Ramser. Look at that, guys. That's what you get for trying to attack uphill. You're never going to have a good job attacking uphill, and this gives me an idea. This means I'm going to try to hold right here with Iron Brigade. This hill is a pretty nice area, but look at that. That's bad. Mahone and a lot of the other Confederates are causing us some trouble. Looks like Schmidtfelnig is able to hold, guys. I might be crazy here, but it definitely looks like he's holding, at least for now. That could change in a matter of seconds. Hood's division is sighted, and with Hood approaching, problems could definitely occur, guys. Hood is not one to be trifled with, really, to be put simply. Come on, boys. All right, nice. Ramser's not going to be coming back to this battle. No way. Highly doubt it. And once Longstreet here, General James Longstreet will be the biggest sort of thorn in our side. And this is a problem, guys. As you can see, they've taken this position back. We definitely want to move on this area. So we're going to try to move as many men as we can, and with Carr and the rest of these guys, I'm going to try to wipe out the enemy artillery. So we're going to go ahead and attack right on the enemy artillery. I might even charge here towards the end, kind of try to corner the enemy, if that makes any sense. Alright, the fight for the center is serious, guys, and all we can do is keep pushing. But obviously the rebels have got a nice position here in the woods, so I'm going to try to fire off as many shots as I can. But over here even, the enemy is hitting us really hard as well, and I think I'm going to focus fire with green. I was concerned about the enemy attacking us on this flank, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so I'm going to see if we can send Ruger, Green, and a few more guys to flank attack the enemy here. Again, I'm not sure we even need to do that, but better be safe than sorry. Fire those shell shots. Imagine the power of those shell shots exploding amongst the enemies. All that shrapnel, as soon as the round hits, just flying everywhere. Bucktail's having some trouble sighting the enemy here, and obviously when you're in a wood situation like this, it can be hard to sight the enemy. A lot of the times our guys don't even see them, but right now we are spotting them. A lot of gunfire going this way, and there we go. I'm going to charge with Carr. We've got to, guys. With all those artillery pieces there, it's our duty to charge. And with Graham, I'm going to try to fire into the enemy flank here. They've definitely secured the ridge, but we're going to take that ridge back by the power of Lincoln. Oh, damn. Carr is being forced back here. All right, I guess I'm going to open fire on these guys then. I could try to charge with Excelsior Brigade, and I think I'm going to. Let's hope they don't have much canister shot there, guys. Of course, we're taking a really big risk charging here, but I think to get rid of that huge group of artillery, this is a worthwhile risk. Coster. Well, you can see all this fighting in the center is so strange because there's just so much firing going on from multiple locations. We're trying to kind of pinpoint the enemy, but it's hard to do so. I'm going to start moving forward to some more units here, but I'm not sure if numbers can really tip the balance. Come on, boys. There we go. Excelsior Brigade has definitely got in on the enemy artillery. That's the good news, at least. We've got our boys reloading right there to the right of George Weikert's farm, guys. I want to charge so badly with Graham, but I know better. Playing as the Union before, you almost always want to maximize firepower and barely ever charge. In fact, even this charge with Excelsior Brigade was a bit risky. Somehow did work, but I'm going to, of course, focus fire now on Patterson and all the rest of this artillery. I definitely want our boys to just wipe them out. Holy crap, right, you son of a bitch. I thought you were gone. Never mind. Focus fire on right. Alright, guys, we got those reinforcements approaching, and of course I'm going to be sending Willard, one of the larger reinforcements over here. Smythe, we're going to send here, and the Gibraltar Brigade, they are never really of much use. We're going to send here to replace Bucktail Brigade. As for these guys, I'm going to try to hold, but once again, it's very hard to spot the enemy in this sort of terrain, and we need to take this terrain back. Now, that's good. Mahone, O'Neill, and Lane are pulling back. That's a very good sign. Those are strong brigades, but it's not enough, guys. Close but no cigar, as we say a lot on these Let's Plays. I'm going to move the sharpshooters up to start targeting the enemy artillery units, and also move Cross up and the Irish Brigade as well. As for the Arty, I think we can start moving them into position over here. Nice. Smith's getting some good shots, and we just want Stannard to assist there. And like I said, I knew the enemy was going to have some units here. I just didn't know how many, but they definitely have a defensive core right here, led by Gordon and a few other guys, and we want to put a stop to that. We could even charge since they're retreating, but let's not try to charge uphill in a wooded area. It never usually ends well. Send Ames. Come on, Ames. And Lockwood. Now, if we get attacked from the east, we're in serious trouble, of course. Alright, guys, I think it's time to push forward. Dun, 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 dun. And here we go. The glorious move forward begins. And we've got to do this very steadily, obviously, to avoid any problems. I want to try and get these units here, these artillery units, right there on the point, so that the enemy has to basically wipe them out to take the position. I think that's going to be the best solution. And I'm going to have Hall and Heckman fire canister shot at the Louisiana Tigers here. Come on, Hall. Got to reload faster, son. Louisiana Tigers are a vicious fighting force, and if we can wipe them out, I think we can really improve our odds. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I've also got the 5th Corps Artillery approaching. And our guys are definitely opening fire here, which is a great sign. But the Texas Brigade on our left flank is not a great sign. This unit over here, I guess Colonel Burling is firing. But I want the sharpshooters actually to take their focus away right now from the artillery and just focus on shooting the Texas Brigade. Because even at 1600, this brigade could mean life and death for our force. Come on, boys. Get over to the wheat field. In fact, the wheat field would have been a perfect location for our arty. Why didn't I think of that? Although I don't mind having really good artillery up here on Little Round Top. They can more or less see the field. Fire on Texas. And Smith, switch to canister. We'll say very, very few men can actually withstand a canister shot. Boom. Texas might be one of the few brigades that can. Alright, guys, keep on going. Don't be afraid. Keep moving forward. We're taking it, boys. We're taking it. Alright, Crawford's division of the 5th Corps is here, guys. A few guys that we could definitely use. So we're going to be moving Barnes and the rest of these guys over where we have the artillery here. Got a lot of nice artillery pieces, and all I want to do is just form basically a cluster, if that makes sense, of these artillery pieces so that they can keep firing at the enemy. Switch over to shell shot here, especially since we're now out of range. And we might be able to break in on the enemy's left flank. That would be perfect, guys. I'm really tempted to charge here. But like I said, I've had more than enough experience with the Union to know that that's almost never a good idea. In this case, though, we might be able to overwhelm them. I'm going to fire a few more volleys before I consider that. And let's make sure McDougal gets a volley off, because this guy has so many men in his brigade. Fire, boys. Keep it up. Beautiful. I think we have the high ground. We've got the cover. There's no real reason for us to charge. And actually, Thomas is going to take off anyway. You don't want to die for your country, boys. What's wrong with you? And we are very much on top of Cemetery Ridge, guys. We just got to keep moving the rest of the men up. We cannot falter even for a second. If we falter, this enemy can basically just do a counterattack and retake all these positions. So Hall, Bucktail, all of these fellows are moving into battle. I like to see that the guys on top of this hill are getting some great shots, so we might want to move some of our artillery up there on top of the hill. There we go. The Texas Brigade down to 956 men, guys. That is pathetic. We're going to go ahead and try and hit the artillery here. We have taken the ridge. I don't like that Carter has decided that he wants to go all the way out, but hopefully he'll learn his lesson. And right now we're just going to stay put. That's really all I want to do. Stay put. Get Harrow up here. There's a lot of men in Harrow's brigade. The Irish Brigade, they're going to retreat before they've even made it to the battle. Alright, I like this. Lockwood, keep firing. Candy, keep firing. We might go ahead and charge here. If not, just to confuse the hell out of the enemy and force them to send a lot of troops to defend this area. But I think it's a big risk. A really big risk. So maybe it's just better to slowly approach. Remember, we are a professional army. So we might just wipe them out by shooting them down and then approach slowly. Oh boy, Johnson's division of Ewell's Corps is arriving, and as you can see, we've got a few of our divisions already faltering here. That's not good at all. Let's bring the 3rd Corps right there on top of the area. Schmifelnig could definitely put in his work, but we need more out of him. Here we go, guys. We've got Weed approaching, all of these guys, and the enemy does have units approaching from that side. This is what I was concerned about, but luckily now that Weed is here, we can go ahead and basically defend this area. I'm going to send 3 brigades, actually 4, just to be safe, and I'm going to send McCandless up here to face Johnson's division, which is going to be a vicious little struggle for sure. Fire, boys. Let's get Sealer up here. Alright, that did not work out so well. So we were trying to put some damage down on the enemy artillery units with our infantry, and yeah, they definitely managed to hold on. So let's see if we can stop Hall right here. I don't want him moving all the way up. Hold right there, Hall. And it looks like our guys are getting some really great shots. Don't forget the enemy is mostly in open territory here. That should really turn the tide of the battle in our favor. Standard, you are crazy. You a crazy bastard, Standard. She likes to get shot. I don't know. Alright, we're going to move Ruger in. He can't spot Gordon yet, but he will be able to see him very, very soon here once he breaks the tree line. And General Barnes' division. Nice, guys. General Barnes' division should bring us a nice little boost. Attempted counterattacks in the center. It looks like they're trying, but not succeeding. Come on, Hall. You've got a rifle for a reason. Same with you, de Trobriand. I want your boys on the front lines shooting every chance they get. Got plenty of ammunition from the storage depot. There we go. Nice. All those little puffs of smoke are just more or less one less Confederate. Our guys are pretty good shots. Of course, they're not going to make every shot. But let's go ahead and hit the enemy here in the flank. Perrin is just exposing his flank right to us. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity to send some of his men straight to hell. Lockwood. Keep on going, boys. Now we are officially attacking their left flank. And actually, the sharpshooters are focusing on the Texas Brigade, which I don't really mind, because those guys can be quite cunning and quite daring. But in this case, I think that maybe avoiding the artillery and just shooting at the Texas Brigade is not a bad idea. I have nothing against it. They're getting rid of a few of these guys, and the more of them that we get rid of, the safer we're going to be. Alright, Coster. 381 men. You should be ashamed of yourself, Coster. Hello. Yes. Alright, Benning's getting hit, guys. Now, they do have Daniel that they're moving up, and they've got Anderson back here. They should be moving Anderson forward, as you can see. Now, that point is worth 10,000, guys, so we are going to try to push on the actual point. We don't necessarily have to, I don't think. Let's see, 2,500. We may have to push on the point to get a solid victory. So I'm going to go ahead and commence the assault. A bit late for the assault, but we're going to do it anyway. And it's going to be pretty hard to move from here. So I'm going to try. I'm going to go ahead and start moving forward. In fact, we could try something bizarre and just do a total charge with the Union. I could charge with McDougal, but I just don't feel safe enough to try it. Remember, the name of the battle is Cemetery Ridge, but that 10,000 victory points cannot be ignored. Keep on moving, boys. Keep on moving. Come on, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Show no fear in the eyes of the enemy. Oh shit, Harrow's taking serious shots from Daniel. See, this is why we can't really necessarily take that position without really putting our men in serious danger. So I think we're going to stay put, hope for the best. That is not a winning strategy. Hit the Tigers. I told you they'd be back. Even at 322, those guys have a lot of bravery. I want to make sure that our guys are getting some good shots here. Day, are you firing at Stewart? And I want to get Weed up here on top of the hill. I'm going to do the same with these infantry brigades as well. Schweitzer, Vincent, etc. Alright, at least we've held Cemetery Ridge, pretty much. At this point, I am going to charge with Ames, because we're right on top of the enemy. I'm going to also charge with McDougal. The enemy looks like they're faltering. I may have just taken some bait that I shouldn't have taken, but I'm going for it, guys. For the Union. Oh, that canister shot's going to be tough to deal with. Ames has already kind of given up the fight. McDougal is following through. And the battle's at least delayed. Alright, interesting. So the AI is kind of aware that we are trying to push on certain locations. Whether or not we can take them is an entirely different story. Let's go ahead and fire on Stewart. Hey, you spelled Stewart? That's weird. Alright. Oh yeah, that is devastating. So right on top of them, even with the woods cover, they're going to take a lot of hits from something like that. Alright, McDougal's pulling back. I knew that was only a matter of time, but we definitely accomplished our mission of just freaking terrorizing the hell out of the enemy. Now they're approaching with Anderson, a few other really strong guys. We want to get Harrow back up. We want to get Buckland right on the point there. And Dilger as well. I want to get everybody right there on the point. So if they're going to try to take it, they're going to have to fight through a lot of Union soldiers. Come on, boys. Keep pushing on the artillery. Don't be afraid. It's really up to these guys to wipe out as much of the enemy arty as possible. Alright, Texas Brigade is taking serious hits. I'm going to keep the U.S. sharpshooters firing on them. Of course, I highly recommend, guys, if you have U.S. sharpshooters, you should be focusing on enemy artillery units. It looks like the battle is about to end, as long as the enemy doesn't try to push on this location. Anderson is trying to get here in time, but I don't think he's going to be able to, which is good for us, obviously. A nasty battlefield there. The Confederates, I have to say, have got to have taken more casualties than us. I might be wrong, but just looking at all those bodies on the field, those mostly look like gray coats to me. Come on, boys. Switch to canister. Have Hall focus here on Anderson, and same with Harrow, because I don't want them pressing on the point and delaying the battle, which they definitely could do here if they were so inclined. Alright, U.S. sharpshooters, fire on Texas. Actually, I'm going to fire on Anderson. Right into the flank, and I'll see if Zook can also get a shot on Anderson right into the flank. The fact is, we have better positioning in this battle. We have higher ground. We've got, obviously, the defensive area of the woods, and I'm hoping that that's going to get us the victory. And that's a draw, guys. The reason it's a draw is, of course, we didn't take that 10,000 point that the enemy had, but look at those casualties. Now, we actually did end up taking more casualties than the enemy, which really surprises me. 24,000 to the enemy's 21,000, but just imagine that, guys. An unbelievable 45,000 men in this battle. That's, I mean, almost half of 100,000. Unbelievable. It looks like Iron Brigade did exceptionally well here, killing 1,354, and I would say for an infantry brigade, that is unbelievable. I think that's one of my best records yet. Really, really good shooting there. And, of course, Graham's battery, the enemy's artillery, getting a lot of kills there, too. 1,949, and that's just from us pushing on that right flank continuously. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the battle. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, share this with your friends, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take care, guys.